I have lots of player props today on PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, and then also ThriveFantasy. So this video, I have a play on each and every single one of the three main player prop fantasy companies, which are pretty interesting platforms because they're basically a parlay-only sportsbook, right? So you'll notice the way that Underdog Fantasy works is any three picks you select, you're always going to be getting $1 to win $6, $1 to win $5 in profit, plus your $1 entry amount back, right? So this is essentially just a three-leg parlay that is plus 500 odds. And what you're going to notice about this platform is they're not varying your payout or the odds depending on the pick, right? Any three-leg parlay, you're going to see $1 to win 6, which is just plus 500 odds. So we've kind of gone through the math before, but because on Underdog Fantasy, any three-pick entry is $1 to win 6, if I zoom in a bit, essentially this just means the implied odds or the implied price is minus 122 for any three-pick entry, right? So if you had a three-leg parlay on a sports book where every leg was at minus 122 odds, then your parlay would come out to plus 500, $1 to win 6 total, $5 in profit. So because Underdog Fantasy, every three-leg parlay is $1 to win 6, they're essentially charging you the implied juice of minus 122. So when we're looking for value on Underdog Fantasy in a three-pick entry, we're looking for value at minus 122. So the first play I ended up going with is DeAndre Ayton right here, under 12.5 rebounds plus assists. So it's a kind of random bet, but I found it on the OddsJam arbitrage page, which essentially shows you, big discrepancies in sportsbook lines. So in a three-pick entry on Underdog or a five-pick entry, we're getting implied juice of minus 122. You can see Caesars has this line at minus 184. So an absolutely massive difference, right? You can see Bet365 has Ayton under 12.5 rebounds plus assists at minus 145, BWin minus 140, Caesars minus 184. So long story short, looking across the market, it's pretty clear that we're getting a lot of value on this play, taking the under, right? So basically when I'm playing on PrizePicks or on Underdog Fantasy, I just make sure to check OddsJam. It's free to browse odds for, any sport, any game you want to look at, any market, is I just try to make sure all my plays are at advantageous odds, right? I would not want to include Klay Thompson over 5.5 rebounds plus assists in my Underdog entry, right? Why would I bet it minus 137 in a two-pick entry or, minus 122 in a three-pick entry? That's the implied juice we're getting. If I can just bet it plus 102 on FanDuel, it wouldn't make any sense, right? As a sharp sports bettor, if you want to make money, you have to be looking for value, beating the closing line. And if you're placing bets at, minus 137 or at the implied odds of minus 137, when there's another bookmaker offering plus 102, you're getting a rip-off price, right? You're getting a terrible price. And value is all that matters in the long run as a sports bettor, right? So the second play I ended up going with on Underdog Fantasy is going to be right here. So we can see there's a big line discrepancy in Saddiq Bey over under 18.5 points. So if you go ahead and you click into this market, what you'll notice is most sports books have his point total at over under 17.5. So FanDuel, they offer these alternate lines. So they're one of actually the only sports books you can see right here. They don't only let you bet on the mainline market of Saddiq Bey over under 17.5 points. They allow you to bet him over 9.5, 10.5, whatever, all the way up to over 29.5. The over under is essentially, they provide a larger selection. So what we're noticing is, hey, what OddsJam is showing us is there's a big line discrepancy between FanDuel and the alternate markets and then Underdog Fantasy. So if we take a peek, it's pretty clear that, hey, on Underdog Fantasy, we're getting under 18.5 points at minus 122. You can see that Pinnacle, which is the sharpest bookmaker in the world, they have the under 17.5 points for Bey at minus 131. So we're not only getting, better odds, right? Minus 131 to minus 122, but we're also getting a point of improvement, right? We're getting under 18.5 points when everyone else betting on the sports books is getting an over-under of 17.5. So if Bay has exactly 18 points, right, our under on Underdog Fantasy is going to cash. For everyone else, it's going to lose. So you can see as well, like most sports books, Caesars, FanDuel, Pinnacle, Bet Online. So Bet Online is another very sharp offshore sports book. They're pricing the under 17.5 points as the favorite outcome, right? FanDuel has lines juiced towards the under in Bay's point total for an over-under of 17.5, right? They have the under 17.5 at minus 120. Caesars has it minus 123. Bet Online minus 143. So we're kind of using all these data points in the market, all these sports books, all of their lines to see and tease out that, yeah, there's a lot of value in being able to get Bay under 18.5 points at minus 122. So that's the third pick I went with. And then the final play I went with was just a positive EV bet. So this is the most popular kind of tool on OddsJam, just mathematically profitable bets. And we can see right here, Kadri under 3.5 shots on goal. All the sports books have the under 3.5 shots on goal heavily juiced, right? Basically minus 140 to minus 150 on every sports book. On PrizePicks, you can get this, as well as on Underdog Fantasy. So I included this in my 3-pick entry. So those are the first player props I have right here. Under Feast. Ayton under 12.5 rebounds plus assists. Kadri under 3.5 shots. Bay under 18.5 points. So using OddsJam to kind of find these spots with value where we're getting, a full point of improvement from the rest of the market, right? So because every sportsbook has Bay's point total at, over under 17.5, we're getting over under 18.5, so a full point better, right? We're picking up value, and that's how you make money, in the long run betting on sports. So you always need to be finding value. So I love this play, under 18.5 for Bay. So next, let's go to PrizePicks, because PrizePicks has this promo for Taco Tuesday. So I ended up taking it. Beal over 33.5. It goes down, you can see, to 29.5 PRAs. So it's called Taco Tuesday. It's a promo on FanDuel, and I ended up taking it with Rasmus under 2.5 shots on goal, which was just another, positive EV play you can see right here. So being able to get him under 2.5 shots on goal. All the sports books, you can see Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker out there, they're juicing this all the way down to minus 182. So, of course, this, Taco Tuesday promo is pretty awesome because they're lowering Bradley Beal's PRAs line by 4 points, so you definitely want to be on this. But you also need something to pair it with, so of course we want to pick up value where we can. And all the sports books have the under, for Erasmus heavily juiced, so this is a great play to be on. Pinnacle has it minus 182, and they have the over at plus 134. So if we go to a no vig odds calculator, with the vig removed, the true odds are going to be minus 151 to Pinnacle. We're getting minus 137, in a 2-pick entry on PrizePicks. So essentially, any 2-pick entry on PrizePicks or Underdog, you should assume you're getting minus 137 implied odds. Now, when you're playing a 3-pick entry on Underdog, your implied odds get better. You're getting minus 122, which is why you'll notice, we almost hit last night, dang. Which is why you'll notice, we only play 3 and 5-pick underdogs for the most part on this YouTube channel, just because that's when the odds are most advantageous, right? That's where you're getting minus 122, not minus 137. It would never make sense to play a 4-pick on Underdog. Now, kind of the budget fantasy site, is ThriveFantasy. And the reason is they tend to offer a lot better payouts. So in a 2-pick entry, you're actually just getting the implied juice of minus 111. So it's a lot easier to find sharp bets. So the first play I went with is Kyle Kuzma under 28.5 PRAs. You can see all the sports books have the under heavily juiced. We can get this on PrizePicks or on Thrive at minus 111. So obviously we want to go with Thrive, 2.86% profit margin on this positive EV bet. So Kyle Kuzma under 28.5 PRAs. So again, as a recap of everything we're on before I get into my last pick, we're on Kadri under 3.5 shots on goal, Bay under 18.5 points, DeAndre Ayton under 12.5 rebounds plus assists. We're just following the data. We're just following the math, right? And then we're on Bradley Beal over 29.5 PRAs and Rasmus under 2.5 shots on goal. So that's our promo on PrizePicks. Then the final play I ended up going with on Thrive Fantasy, another value bet, is right here. Draymond Green under 6.5 rebounds. So I played this on Thrive Fantasy. Draymond under 6.5 rebounds. Kyle Kuzma under 28.5 PRAs. So that's another couple picks. Hopefully you guys are able to tail. You can let me know what you like, what you don't like. Hopefully this video was helpful, informative. We try to keep the OddsJam YouTube not only giving you sharp, profitable picks, but also really, trying to dive a bit into the strategy, explain why, this stuff makes money for you. And yeah, thanks so much for your time.